it's Hailey, and today I wanted to talk about the books that I haven't read yet because they intimidate me, they scare me. Basically, I'm just a big baby. So I did a video recently kind of discussing and looking into my reading tastes and how they've changed. And in that video, I mentioned this forthcoming video because I have a lot of books here that I haven't read yet, mostly because they're big. They are chunkers and I just have been like so hesitant to pick them up because I have been trying to read as fast as possible, especially with having a new job. I don't have all that time for reading, and especially like I don't have all that energy for reading, which is so tragic, but it's true. Like all day I'm working, and then the last thing I want to do after work sometimes is pick up a book because I just feel exhausted. So my brain is just dead, and because of that I haven't wanted to read any of these books, and that has been a fact before I even started my new job. It's just been like these books just scare me. They are taking me so long to read, and I want to actually do it. I would like to do it soon. I'm hoping that like talking about them in a video will encourage me to pick them up, that you guys will hype me up to actually pick them up and see if they would be something that I enjoy. A lot of them seem like things that I would be like, that I would like, but it's the mental block that I have. If I don't want to do something, I will not do it. I cannot force myself to do something that I don't want to do, which is why a lot of my goals end up falling to the wayside because I literally, like, I'm my own worst enemy. I have zero self-discipline, so I can't make myself do something. But maybe if you guys encourage me nicely, because if you tell me to read it, I'm not going to do it either. I can't be told what to do, nor can I tell myself what to do. You see the problem here. This is really introspective. I have an issue. But if you're like, yeah, that book is so good, and you really hype it up, then I'll be like, well, I want to know why it's so good. If I see someone talking about something a lot, then I want to read it. I'm easily influenced, yet I can't influence myself. Does that make sense? Probably not. But let's just get into this pile because we have some big honkin' books to talk about. The first book is actually one that I thought of while I was talking, and it's one that you guys know I haven't read yet because it has been on every yearly TBR. I finally didn't include it this year, but it has been on so many yearly TBRs, so many. It's ridiculous. And that is The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. So this isn't like a big book, but there is something about it that I just haven't picked it up, and I haven't felt the urge, but it's definitely one that like I am interested in. I want to read. I would like to watch the TV show, but I haven't watched the TV show because I want to read the book first. So like the TV show, I don't even know if it's still airing or not. I literally have no clue, but I haven't looked into it and I haven't watched it and I don't know anything about it because I haven't read the freaking book yet because I just have been so intimidated. Like I literally have met Margaret Atwood. I have a personalized signed copy of this book and I haven't read it yet. It is ridiculous to me and I feel like I need to read it. Like I need to do it, but it definitely is one that has intimidated me. Margaret Atwood is so beloved and the book is just like also so beloved. It's on such a pedestal that has kept me from picking it up, and no more. It needs to actually happen soon. Honestly, as I'm looking at my classics shelf, which is behind the camera, there are a lot of books there. Like there's also 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez that I'd really love to read because I read a short story by him in one of my university classes and I really enjoyed it, so that's definitely one that I would like to read too, but classics just intimidate me so aggressively. But getting to the actual pile here, we have Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. This is kind of like The Handmaid's Tale in the fact that I have included this book on so many TBRs and I've been like, yes, now's the time, I'm finally gonna do it. Like I remember when the pandemic started, the first week that things shut down in 2020, I was like, well, might as well read this book, and I still didn't do it. Reader, I still failed. Like I didn't do it and it makes me so mad. Actually, speaking of reader, I still need to finish with Jane Austen books. Like what? Oh, I get so frustrated with myself because there's so many classics, so many books that I want to read. And then when I have a spare moment, I'm like, my brain can't focus. I can't do it. So really, the only time that I've been reading lately is right before bed. I've been reading myself to sleep. And sometimes it's a long time that I'm able to read. Most times I fall asleep very quickly because I'm so tired. But Mistborn, I have heard just nothing but amazing things about this book. I've heard it's fantastic. I have started to read it a couple of times, and I think I've just been so intimidated that I have never gotten further into it, which is tragic, but it's definitely one that I want to see. I want to know, like, once and for all, is this going to be a book that I will enjoy? Is it one that's for me, or is the hype just too much? Because I've read Skyward by Brandon Sanderson and I really enjoyed it, but this one, for some reason, it's just been like my Achilles heel. I don't know why. It's very frustrating, but I'll get to it eventually. I just literally have no clue when. Next, we have a book that is more recent, but that is The Atlassix by Olivia Blake. So this is a pretty recent, I think she has, I don't know if it's a sequel or just another book by the same author, but there's definitely another book that the cover was revealed recently. But this one, I bought into the cover and I bought into the hype. I was like, I need to know what this book is about. And it's one of those things, I see it everywhere and then I want to read it. And that has definitely been the case with this book. I've seen it everywhere and I want to read it. I don't need to know what it's about. I just buy into the hype. I'm literally like a company's best case scenario. Like, I don't need to know more. I just see it everywhere and then it works, I buy it. So that has been the case with Atlassix, but it does seem really cool because I believe it's about like secret societies. Each decade, only the 6 most uniquely talented magicians are selected to earn a place in the Alexandrian society, the foremost secret society in the world. So it does seem really interesting and like something that I could potentially enjoy, but it also is definitely something that it takes me a while to get to because I put it off forever and ever because it feels like it's going to be something that will take me a long time to read. So this is a book that I'll probably read soon for a video about like reading out of my comfort zone reads. But this is another TikTok hyped book, similarly to The Atlassix. But it's not a big book. That's not the intimidating factor. The book is Neon Gods by Katie Robert, which I know is like apparently the smuttiest of smut. I don't know if it's actually the smuttiest of smut, but it's very smutty. And I have taken like teaspoons of smut in my books, and that's all that I really like. However, maybe in a fantastical setting, this is a Hades and Persephone retelling, I believe, I might like a little bit more smut. I don't really know, but it is something that I bought into the hype. I was like, you know what? This seems, it could be fun for me to try this out. So I've had it, but I've definitely been way too intimidated to pick it up. I actually did a TikTok with this book and I was like, the caption was something like, when you read book talk recommendations and find out they're all spicy. And then you guys thought that I read this book, but I haven't actually read it yet. It's just like, I know that it's spicy because I have heard about it, but I haven't gone into it yet. And I think it could be an interesting experiment to see what level of smut do I like? Do I like more smutty books? I don't know. I don't think so. Like right now, I think I just like the cute romantic stories, but you never know until you try. So this is one that I'll have to, at one point, put on my big girl panties and try it out. Next, I swear to God, these aren't all well, I guess they kind of are. A lot of these books are popular on TikTok, but that's just because like everything is popular on TikTok now. I can't talk about anything without talking about TikTok. But anyways, the next book is These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. This book has been out for quite a while now, and it's one I was so excited leading up to it coming out because it seems right up my alley, and it still does, but it's just like these tall, this won't make sense to anyone but me, but you have like, there's multiple sizes of books, but for example, you have 2 different heights of books. Do you see the difference here? That little bit, that like, it's maybe like, I don't know, 5 centimeters or something, I really don't know. That makes all the difference to me. It takes a book from being like seeming manageable to being overwhelmingly large, which makes 0 sense. Like, it doesn't make any sense at all. I completely like acknowledge that, but I have to trick my brain. Like, I have to read a book like this on ebook for most of it because then I can change it and like they're all the same. Listen, I'm not gonna try and say that I understand myself, but I do know myself. I don't understand it, but I am familiar with myself. We have spent a lot of time together, so I do know how stupid my brain is. And that's one of the things, like, I have to trick myself, okay? So that's kind of how I plan on reading this book. But it's definitely been one, like, I've been trying to keep up my Goodreads number just with myself. So I haven't gotten to it yet and I've been putting it off, but it's one that I would love to read. It's Romeo and Juliet retelling set in 1920s Shanghai, rival gangs. It seems so cool. And I just need to suck it up and do it. Next one is Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Su Lin Tan. This is more of a recent release, but I was pulled in by this cover, and I also thought it was a YA fantasy, but it's actually an adult fantasy. So this is definitely out of my realm because I don't really read all that many adult fantasies because I'm not really a fan of books that have a ton of world building and it like slows me down. As much as I want to get to the books that are going to take me more time, I still know that I don't like slow reads. I need something that's going to be a little bit more fast-paced. There are certain ones that I'll take a chance on, but for the most part, I like a fast-paced read. So usually books like adult fantasies have more world building in the beginning and are more of like an epic, if that makes sense. Not that YA fantasies can't, but you know what I mean. So this one I still would like to give a shot. I think it seems super, super interesting, but I just have been way too intimidated to pick it up. And I know it's been super hyped up recently, so it seems like the perfect time to like feed off of that hype to make me actually read this one. Next is Rule of Wolves by Leigh Bardugo. The fact that I haven't read this book is frankly ridiculous to me because I love Leigh Bardugo. I love Nikolai, and this is the series that focuses on him. And I did really enjoy King of Scars, the first book of this series. So why haven't I read this yet? I literally could not tell you. Like, it makes me so mad that I haven't read this yet because this is, I'm not a huge fan of series, but this is one that I would love to continue with because I just love these characters so much. So I know that this is one that I would like to get to very soon. Maybe when the next season of, I feel like that's probably a long ways off, but the next season of Shadow and Bone comes out, maybe I'll feed off of that hype and finally read this. I don't know, but like, I know I've heard some really amazing things about it. It's just one, like, I've just been so hesitant to pick it up and I don't know why. I wish I wasn't intimidated by these books, but I am, and it sucks. This next book is one that I know for a fact is going to be slow. I have been warned a million times, but it's still one that I would like to take a chance on and see where I fall on liking this book, because this one seems to have extremes. People either love it and like it's their favorite book of all time, or they hate it and it's their least favorite book of all time. And that book is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. This book has been out for a couple like years now. I actually remember at the last BookCon, this was like the book that everyone was trying to get. Everyone was trying to get an arc of this book. It's so funny because the last BookCon was so long ago. That was forever ago. But I know that the opinions on this book have varied so drastically, and I would love to know like how am I gonna feel about it? But because I know that it's slow, it has been taking me a long time to actually get to this book. So this is another one where I just need to get over it and read it finally, because like I'll never know if I don't try. Okay, and the last two books are both by the same author, and for closure's sake, I would really like to read them, but also because I did enjoy the series when I read them. But Sarah J. Maas, okay? There is no like more intimidating author for me, I don't think, than Sarah J. Maas. This book is so big, and this book is so big, and this one has like Bible pages. So I haven't finished the Throne of Glass series, even though it's been years since it has been done, because it's so dang big, and I'm just like, I don't remember what's happened in the previous books, and I don't want to reread them. So like, I'm just at a point where I'm like, nah, but then I also want to know how the series is going to end. So I really would like to read these. And then this one for ACOTAR, like I would like to know how this series is going to end as well. It's just, I have fallen off the wagon with reading sequels, and these two are just so, look at this, it's so intimidating. I don't like big books, okay? I really don't. As much as I'm saying like I want to read bigger books because I don't want to be intimidated by them, I still, once again, I know myself, I don't like big books. My preference will still be a small book. But that being said, there are big books that I've really enjoyed, and I want to get to these, I want to try them, but eventually I will do it. Okay, so those are all the books that I wanted to talk about today that have just like intimidated me, scared me. I haven't wanted to get to them, even though like I really have. It's just, it's a mental battle really. So thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in another new one soon. Bye.